deep in my sea of loathing. Broken, your servant I name. You're given to me. It seems what's left of my human side is slowly changing in me. You're given to me. Looking at my own reflection, when suddenly it changes, violently it changes. Oh no, there is no turning back now. You've woken up the demon in me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and let everyone to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Man, this is the gift that has been given to me.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Lesser Saints Discord, your one and only pre-show for the YouTube Saints. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of changes in the Discord. We're going to talk about Trump and Twitter. We're going to talk about a certain type of happy hour that's going on somewhere. We're also going to talk about some other issues that happened for the post-show.
We'll cover the Discord stuff first, as usual.
Yeah. Hope you all have had a great weekend. I know I had a great weekend. I went to Hurricane Ridge over by Port Angeles and hiking. It's fucking beautiful out there. Saw an old friend of mine. It was good.
I've had 3 days off so far, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Since I've been working so many fucking 12s. Oh, and I finished my semester at my apprenticeship, so I am now on summer break. Awesome for me.
Oh, congrats.
Good stuff.
Alright, so we have a few things we need to talk about in the Discord. Waffle and I have been elevated to admin status. So if you guys have any ideas for bots and whatnot, feel free to message me. Probably message Waffle. He knows more about that thing.
You can also you can also message me. I don't have the access for it, but like it says in the welcome screen, if you have any issues with the bot, contact either Waffle or both myself and Jables. I have the knowledge, Jables has the access, kind of thing.
Yeah. So that works.
On the subject of the bot, while we're there.
Wait, before we get to the bot,
all right.
I do have to say, if any of you remember when I became a mod, I went a little mad with power. That may or may not happen this time. I do have a lot more permissions now. So we'll figure out how that goes. Alright, back to the bot.
So, with the bot, keep in mind, Zebro is just the first bot that we are implementing. There may be more to come, but Zebro is the main one that we're going to have. It will automatically apply the unmuffled role after 24 hours. If you have a friend that comes into the Discord and you want them to be able to be unmuted or have access like they would if they were unmuffled and had been there for 24 hours, you can contact us and we will deal with that on a case-by-case basis. We can't guarantee that it will happen, but it will be dealt with, and a decision will be made. The new lounge, the raid lounge, that is, as it says in the rules, that is, or in the announcement, that is mainly for getting away from raids if they're getting a little too rowdy for you, so you have a safe space, so to say. Feel free to use it as an alternate
Really?
voice chat.
Safe spaces.
Yeah.
Discord.
Well,
That's...
but keep in mind
if
that...
I have to deal with the scat porn, you guys should too. God damn it.
Keep in mind, random streaming is also in that sort of window where it won't be able to be accessed by individuals who are just joining the server, as is true with gaming. That way, if someone comes in and they're being a douche nozzle, it's not going to be able to affect someone who's streaming, or it's not going to be able to screw up your game.
So they can just generally access the general voice chats
and
stuff.
The only things they can't access are random streaming, text and voice, the raid lounge as a whole, and gaming 1 and 2.
All right.
Beyond that,
keep in mind, guys, I've been busy all weekend, so I haven't been able to keep up with all this. I'm learning about this for the first time myself.
Also, bot spam is another one you will not be able to access for your first 24 hours. But bot spam, all that is for putting in your communications with the bot. If try and keep all the bot talk to bot spam, and keep everything else out of there. But that's all it's there for, is to communicate with the bot. Beyond that, it should not affect your roles. You will keep in mind, we already have had one person activate the anti-spam. I won't say who it is, but two identical posts were put forward, and one was deleted. The second one was deleted because it was a duplicate. You have your 5.
So nice.
You have your short seconds that between link spams. The only place these spam rules do not apply is shitposting and not safe for work. If you want to spam there, because fuck it.
Yeah. Also, there was a role added a little while ago as a joke. It's a beautiful little rocket ship. That is now a permission stripping role. And so whoever has that, I'm still working on setting up all the permissions and stuff. But like I said, I haven't gone all weekend, but I'll finish that up I'll probably finish that up tomorrow. This is a role we're going to add to raiders that will give them no power to post any pictures, any links to stuff. They can purely do text. They won't be able to talk in voice chats or anything like that. Yeah.
That may add a raid chat in case any of you want to just fuck with them, but that's to be determined.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. Another thing.
We'd have to make it NSFW.
Oh yeah. Another thing to keep in mind. You may see a change to the colors. Waffle and I were talking about this earlier. When it comes to mods, the standard mod will stay yellow, but once we get a couple things fixed with the mod role orders, moderator will be yellow, mod plus will be orange, admin will be red, and Saints will stay its dark red that it is now.
Oh, I'm gonna lose my gold colors. Well, Bar's saying people want a fitness and health channel. We'll talk about that off stream.
Yeah, that's for discussion. This is news.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's something that will be approved, much like cooking and all that shit.
Yeah.
But it's something we needed to discuss. We don't want to get too cluttered, especially with all the new shit that was just added.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shall we move on to the incident?
Yes, you take it away.
So, some of you know who you are. While we were doing the post show, Gator had to walk away from his computer to go talk to his roommate, who kind of interrupted him. And somebody said something along the lines of gas the kikes. Somebody recycled my old joke of gassing a glass of juice. And I do have to say, you need to stop doing that. I know it's funny to sort of be a bit trolly and everything like that, but during the post show, keep in mind this is a post show. This is something that Nick and Jeff promote, and it's something that they auto-host on their Twitch channel. And if this gets fucked up, that may or may not go back onto Jeff and Nick. I'm not entirely sure.
Let's not risk it.
Yeah. So, I mean, Twitch is very, very censor heavy when it comes to offensive things. So just be mindful of that. I like hanging out in the post show. It's a lot of fun. You get booty of the week. We all sit around and chat. Everybody gets to chill stuff. I want it to grow. And if we keep pulling out shit like this, not only will it possibly not be able to grow, but it might get deleted entirely.
In fact,
and that's not something that we want.
If you're not gonna behave for Gator and for the post show, at least do it for Nick and Jeff, since they are auto-hosting.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a real thing. You know, I get it. I find those jokes fucking hilarious. I occasionally go through and I troll other servers because it's fun to do. But keep in mind that it's just, we want to keep this up. Gator is a friend of the show and a friend of some of us, and he hangs out here all the time too. He'd like not to have his Twitch shut down. Just keep that in mind, guys. Be kind of nice. You can be slightly offensive, but you gotta remember where the line is that Twitch has.
There's a huge difference between towing the line and jumping straight over it.
Yeah. Well, I think my gas the juice joke is definitely towing the line.
Oh, yeah.
I think saying gas the kikes is jumping over the line.
Oh, absolutely. That's going straight for the jugular.
But also, I'm a huge hater of joke thieves. So quit using that joke. I worked hard on that. All right. Is that it for server news?
Yeah, that's it for server news. Let's see how quick we could run through all this stuff and get our guests on.
Oh.
I don't want to take too long, in other words.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the news. Our first one. You want to go ahead and talk about this one?
Trump, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Trump can't block Twitter followers, federal judge says. Just fucking hilarious. I can't wait to see how many people he blocks once he's out of office. Motherfucker. I'm curious to see if he'll keep blocking people. This will get interesting.
Well, the fun precedence this puts is that means that Trump's Twitter is. It's because Trump's Twitter is a public forum. Well,
no, the POTUS is a public forum. The Twitter that he uses is his private.
Yeah, but they're saying that Trump can't block people from his personal Twitter because that is de facto a public forum, since that is where he primarily posts all his stuff. And if you take that into account, technically that means Twitter can't ban anyone because they're keeping them from a public forum.
This reminds me of an argument that was going on a little while ago. There was a senator, I forget who it was. He mainly used his personal Twitter instead of his government official Twitter for government official business and stuff like that. And he would also post a lot of like really religious things and all of that, and putting that. And there's a big argument about separation between church and state. And his argument was, well, it's my personal Twitter, I can do what I want. But they also had the discussion of it's what you use mostly for your business, for your actual government business. So this reminds me a lot of that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't. This was like a year ago, 6 months to a year ago, so I'm not entirely sure.
Well,
anyways, let's carry on with the article. President Donald Trump cannot block users on his Twitter feed. Federal judge in New York City ruled yesterday. The suit was filed in July 2017 by the Knight First Amendment Institute, Columbia University, as well as 7 other plaintiffs who had been blocked on Twitter by Trump. Can't talk today. The president is an avid Twitter user and routinely makes news, often several times in a day, with his posts. Yes, he does. It's fucking hilarious. He's trolling the shit out of you guys. You understand this? I think he's going to start blocking people just for the shit of it.
I would.
President Donald Trump cannot block users on his Twitter feed. A federal judge in New York ruled yesterday. Judge Naomi Reese Buchwald, I hope I said that right, said in her ruling that Trump is violating the U.S. Constitution by preventing certain Americans from viewing his tweets on @real Donald Trump. The social media platform, Buchwald said, is a designated public forum from which Trump cannot exclude individual plaintiffs. She rejected an argument by the Justice Department that the president had a right to block Twitter followers because of his associational. Associational. That's a weird fucking word. I don't even think that one's real.
Yeah.
It's related to associated, I'm guessing. I've never seen that word before in my life. Freedoms. The judge's ruling was in response to a lawsuit filed last July by the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University, as well as 7 other plaintiffs whom Trump had personally blocked from following him. The plaintiffs included a journalist who had tweeted at Trump that Russia won the presidential election for him, a surgeon, and a Texas police officer. I want to know what the surgeon and the Texas police officer got blocked by Trump for.
Yeah, that sounds like something that should be fun. Like that sounds like it's got a story behind it.
Yeah. This random surgeon and this random Texas police officer have been blocked by Trump. Alright. One plaintiff told CNBC that she is aware of at least 150 verified Twitter users who have been blocked by the president, and that there are at least hundreds more unverified accounts that Trump has blocked. Okay. Can we have a chat about verified Twitter users?
Oh, they're horrible.
Real quick. Yeah.
Real quick.
to totally avoid being blocked and harassed by other people. A lot of times they set it up so that they only see things from other verified Twitter users, and it's a real fucking mess for creating an echo chamber. Check out Nick's video that he posted this week about escaping echo chambers.
This morning, in fact, wasn't it?
I don't know. Time doesn't work normally for me. I see shit, I watch it.
I do the same.
It's his most recent video. I recommend checking it out. It was entertaining and informative. The blocks on the social media platform prevented the plaintiffs from viewing or responding to the president's tweets when logged on to their Twitter accounts. So log off and view it anyways.
Well, they do specify logged into their own Twitter accounts.
Yeah. So
Which is just
log off, and if you want to follow Trump's tweets that badly, just log off.
Incognito. Make an egg account.
You don't even have to go incognito mode.
No.
I just logged off and started looking at Steve Shives' tweets sometimes.
If you're using Chrome, get Firefox and have it under a different account, an egg account. That way you can see it. Oh no. And you can respond in that case too.
Steve Shives is tweeting at. He has just about everybody blocked. I don't know who Steve Shives is tweeting at.
His echo chamber. Probably half of them are blocked too.
Oh, and Waffle. I don't think Waffle's been blocked yet. So.
Yeah. I'll have to get update. We'll have to start getting updates from Waffle on that.
Yeah, he's busy doing his own shit. I don't care if he's down for it. Waffle, just give me a weekly update, just like every Sunday morning. Shoot me a message, say, "Hey, I'm still not blocked," or because I'm curious how this goes.
Yeah, it says he's offline now, but who knows?
One of us should send him a message later.
Yeah, I can take care of that.
All right, cool. The president has more than 52.2 million Twitter followers and has tweeted more than 37,600 times since signing up for Twitter in March of 2009. That's not that much.
That's nothing.
This case requires us to consider whether a public official may, consistent with the First Amendment, block a person from his Twitter account in response to the political views that person has expressed, and whether the analysis differs because that public official is the President of the United States. Brooke well said in her opinion. The answer to both questions is no. All right, so with Twitter feeds, so does this mean that Congress people, members of Congress, and senators can't block people either?
I would assume that it would extend to that.
Does this also apply to the separation of church and state clauses in the First Amendment?
I don't know.
So they can't post religious stuff on their shit anymore.
I don't know.
Because based on this, based on what she said, I think that would fall right in line that a government official can't post religious. I'm curious about this. I want to.
Yeah, it creates I don't really have a horse in this race. I have a Twitter. It's @Rimshi1, but I never use it.
You couldn't get @Rimshi?
No.
Sue that fucker.
I need to trademark it.
Yeah. Is the @Rimshi active?
I have no idea. I made it like last year sometime. I don't even know. And I'll be honest. The only reason I made that account, the only reason I made that account was because it would give me a extra it would give me an extra chance to win some hardware parts for a computer during Jay's 2 cents contest.
Yeah,
only reason.
I created my Twitter account because I wanted to keep my online life and my meat space life separate, and everybody seemed to be on Twitter that I was involved with in the online areas. So I keep my Facebook and my Twitter separate. Yeah. People on my Facebook think I'm boring as fuck.
Little do they know.
Little do they know I've amassed a cult following on Twitter.
And I finally updated my name just now from LSD Rimshi to Corporal Rimshi.
Alright, so, yeah, I wonder, I'm really curious about, because if they're saying that this infringes the First Amendment, I'm really curious about senators and governors spreading religious nonsense. Anyways,
the guy who has at Rimshi is from India, so, well, New Delhi.
Is he active?
Looks like it.
Damn. So I was gonna say, if he's inactive for like 6 months, you can message Twitter and petition to essentially ask them if you can have that because this account has been inactive, and it's a handle that you use.
Yeah.
Anyways, the White House did not immediately respond to CNBC's request for comment on Buchwald's ruling. A Justice Department spokesman said, "We respectfully disagree with the court's decision and are considering our next step. The Justice Department has 60 days to appeal the ruling." I think that's a good appeal because it is his personal Twitter account, and this is, I think, in a sense, this is the equivalent of the president saying, just plugging his ears and going, la 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 la, I can't fucking hear you. And I think it's the equivalent to that. So I think an appeal is going to happen.
Yeah, I think a couple more paragraphs and we should move on.
No, I'm scanning through this. The president's practice of blocking critics on Twitter is pernicious and unconstitutional, and we hope this ruling will bring it to an end. It's blocking people on Twitter. See, this is the epitome of first world problems. The president blocked me on Twitter.
You want to hear the actually, speaking of first world problems, let's look at the next one. It's not. It's not reparations, but Dosset Hounds. Dosset Hounds. Oklahoma woman mauled to death by a pack of mixed Dosset Hounds. She got killed by wiener dogs.
Dachshunds. Yeah. Man. Well, she looks like a woman that doesn't necessarily get wieners thrown at her all the time. But
where was that picture? Oh, it's not there. I'll just play this video. Let's just play this video. I'm sure it'll be in there once it plays. Do something. Go. But yeah, Tracy Garcia, 52, was near her home on May 7th when a pack of 7 dogs attacked her, according to television station KXII TV reports.
Yep.
Here, it's playing. Hold on.
A woman who lived on this road attacked.
From what it appeared, about 7 dogs had attacked her.
My mom called my dad and said, "Don't let the kids go outside."
First responders arrived and deputies soon after, but then the dogs turned on them.
This is mildly absurd. The dogs turned on the cops. What the hell?
Oh, jeez.
Play.
Fortunately, yes, we did have to shoot 1 dog. It did charge.
I'm not watching the video, so you're gonna have to
protect
film it.
our deputies
Yeah,
as well as the medical personnel. We did have to put down a dog.
The woman was taken to the hospital where she passed away. But on this rural road where tragedy struck, why were these dogs roaming free?
Although once I open the tab, the news site
There was also
demands that they autoplay video.
Oh yeah, it's so lame. I hate the autoplay. This is why I have them open before the stream.
no believe
Yeah,
how
that's
many
what I
mountain
generally
dogs
do
a
that. I
person
just
can
forgot
have.
this week.
In
I was
fact,
so
one neighbor
rushed.
told us he's
Getting
seen
out.
up to 14
I had-
dogs roaming the
I
area
had a
at
really
one
great
time.
weekend. I
Trinity
can't say
Reynolds
that.
used to ride her golf
was
cart up
fun.
and down the street.
Really scared because we rode the golf cart down there before and we saw dogs down there before.
The sheriff tells us
The
when
buddy I
owners
was hanging
were
out
confronted
with
by
is from
authorities,
Ireland,
they made a choice.
so you know how that
They
goes.
made the decision to euthanize.
As far as the law goes, it's too early to say if charges will be filed, but right now, it's the time to
Yet
breathe.
I continue to outdrink him.
Go out to the fans.
He
Yeah.
supports. He's for an Irishman, but I've earned my Irish citizenship.
Yeah, so effectively what the video is saying is woman was killed by 7 wiener dogs, and when they confronted the owner said, yep, just shoot him in the face. I mean, not literally shoot him in the face, but euthanize him. It's really sad, but at the same time, you died because of fucking wiener dogs.
Okay, so Code Anime, they may have been mixed with pit bulls, but pit bulls are actually a very loving breed of
Yeah.
dogs. So that's that more common.
Believe it or not, the pit bull
So
actually
get
at
out
one
of here with
point,
that gay shit.
yeah, the pit bull at one
Learn
point
about
had
pit
the
bulls.
nickname
Learn that
of
they
the
used to be
nanny dog.
dogs. They used to actually be protectors of people's children. Because if they, once you bond with a pit bull, that pit bull will defend you to the death.
Fact. The dogs ranged in they were mixed with border collie, or at least most of them were terrier mixes, and one of them was a border collie mix. But they were all Dorset hounds. So yeah, woman died to wiener dogs mixed with terriers and border collies. Those are fucking hellhounds, yes, Bar. Small little dogs that yip.
Yeah.
And with that one was real quick. Let's move on to our last news article before our guests come on. We have 2 tonight.
Yeah.
Reparations Happy Hour invites white people to pay for drinks.
I pay for drinks every time I go to the bar. What's wrong with that?
Here's
I buy my own drinks. What's wrong with that?
Here's the not so fun part. On Monday night, a bar in Portland, Oregon, hosted people of color.
Fucking Portland. God fucking yeah. Fucking Portland. Jeff, move out of fucking Oregon. Come to Washington.
Well,
God.
he's at least in Eugene, which is probably a lot more insulated from that horrible shit. Anyway.
No, it's Eugene's definitely a little better, but god damn it, Jeff. Try it.
On Monday night, a bar in Portland, Oregon hosted people of color and gave them $10 as they arrived. A symbolic gift funded primarily by white people who were asked not to attend the reparations happy hour.
So, this reminds me of...
Why do I think Ghazi? Why do I think Black Hitler has a strong opinion about this?
I think he loves it.
A local activist group, Brown Hope, wanted the event to be a space for people of color in a mostly white city to meet, organize, discuss public policy, and potentially plan various actions.
Okay.
Notice how it doesn't specify protests.
Yeah.
It just says actions.
Okay, I am cool with all of this until it comes to various actions. Even if it said protests, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if it said protests.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Various actions, that sounds like little by any means necessary word slippage. And, I have no problem with these people meeting together and discussing things that affect them or what they think is them. Sounds like an echo chamber, but fuck it.
Alright.
I have no problem with people getting together and talking. I have a problem with bringing race into this and demanding reparations.
I just don't want it to happen. They can talk about it all they want.
I don't like these goddamn commies giving people free shit.
The notion of full-scale reparations sought by some as compensation for the horrors of slavery, Jim Crow, and the large wealth gap between white and black U.S. households was supported by 58% black and 46% Hispanic people in 2016, or in a 2016 poll. However, 68% of white Americans do not support reparations. When the topic was brought up during the 2016 presidential campaign, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders said it was divisive and unlikely to get through Congress. No shit. The economist Robert Brown once estimated a fair value for reparations of $1.4 trillion to $4.7 trillion, and wrote that reparations should restore the black community to the economic position it would have had it not if it had not been subjected to slavery and discrimination.
Okay.
And
some things are like there are definitely discussions that are fair enough. Like back when redlining was going on, and they weren't allowing people of color to buy certain houses in certain areas. That was fucked up.
Wizard of Cause. Anyone remember that Dave Chappelle reparations sketch? I'm rich, bitch!
Yep. I fucking love that sketch. Oh, by the way, hi Nick.
Hey Nick.
Yeah, and I mean, I just think they're being fucking communists by giving away free money. There were definitely injustices done in the past, and there's still a ripple of some of that from today. However, there's a lot of like culture and community things that need to be worked on. I think that are more important than just giving people money. Maybe I'm going too far. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? But this is. I can't imagine this article getting better.
No. And I'm not making by the way, just to preface, I'm not making the whole they need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps argument. I'm not doing that. It's just, I think there are important things that we need to focus on that aren't just giving them money and trying to get them ahead. Well, we should promote them getting ahead. I fucking lost the plot of what I was saying. I'm going to be called a Nazi tomorrow. Okay. Still there, Remshi?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just responding to our guests, apologizing for the delay. we had a lot to go over for Discord news.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see this getting much better. I mean, looking at this already, the cognitive dissonance of learning that your property is got and preserved on the backs of the misery of others is not an incredibly nice thing to live with. So people would rather discount it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was born. Is that good enough?
Yeah. Let's see. Anything in here? We're creating a platform to make sure our leadership is being seen and honored. This isn't just we're here to socialize. We're here to do the work. In a place like Portland where our community is so fractured, our first step is to bring us back together. And then from there organize and mobilize to create policies to create justice in our communities.
Yeah, I'm all done. Nick's been talking about how we need to invest more in those communities, and I'm cool with that. I'm a huge supporter of beat cops that just walk the street and socialize with the community. I'm a huge supporter of that because what that does is you see a cop as just a guy walking around at that point. you say hello. Next day, you say hello. How are you doing? Next day after that, you might get into a conversation, so on and so forth. It would really improve the relationship between the community and the police officers. Because right now, the relations are bad between communities and police officers, and I think it needs some improvement. And community policing is a really good way to do it. The neighborhood I live in now, every Tuesday we have a big old meeting at the community center where we discuss all of the problems that we are having, and we discuss with police officers that patrol the neighborhood, and they tell us other problems that have been going on that we might not even know about. But we're able to list out our grievances, they're able to list out theirs, and it's actually a really cool thing.
So, shall we move on to our guests?
Yeah, let's just move on to the guests. I'm in a ranty mood tonight, I guess. Yeah, let's just move on to the guests.
Oh, I don't think I have either of them as friends.
I'll add them.
Yeah, Send friend request. Send friend request.
I got it. Everybody here? We all good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. All right, welcome, Dapper and Devil. We are talking about right-wing activist Tommy Robinson, reportedly jailed after filming outside child grooming trial.
Ooh.
Oh, damn it. This is the fucking another heartbreak for anyone that wants liberty in the UK, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I was a little worried about bringing you guys on because the judge ordered a gag order on media for talking about this.
Okay, so I'm not.
So are you guys okay with chatting about this?
I'm fine with it. I'm not going to get into specifics, obviously pertaining to this specifically, but I can talk about other cases in which juries have been issued with gag orders. It's a pretty common thing in the UK, especially if it's a high-profile case. Juries, unlike in the US, I'm assuming it's still like 12 Angry Men in the US, where you'll just sit around and debate about whether or not someone can hold a flip knife and an ice pick.
Well, you gotta sit in the court forever, and then you sit around and talk about it.
It's very different in the UK.
Yeah, I remember when I was in on jury duty, I had a fun one where a guy was accused of hitting a child, but once you heard the case, it was like it was a he said she said sort of thing, and the kid the evidence they brought against the guy just wasn't strong enough. But while I was sitting there inside the jury deliberation room, I actually wound up to hit a guy, and it wasn't out of malice.
So, juries in the UK go home at night if they take too long to deliberate, and especially if it's a long case like this. Obviously, you'd go home, and the reason I could see why the judge would put a gag order on the media is to keep a non-biased jury. It makes sense. Tommy Robinson either knew and didn't care or didn't know at all. I'm inclined to believe that he didn't give a shit, because we all know that Tommy Robinson, much like the honey badger, does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
The problem with that, comes from, like,
Well,
if he knows that he's going to get in trouble with this, he knows that he's going to see prison. He was probably aware of the threats beforehand, or the threats from the government beforehand. He shouldn't have done it. That being said, it's an important topic that people need to hear about. Obviously, a media gag order isn't the right way to go around these things. We need to structure our legal system in a different way.
Well, a media gag order is pretty much ensuring that everybody's going to talk about it.
Oh yeah, it's the Streisand effect through and through.
Well, it's weird how in the UK it seems like you have it's set up to where the the public is not permitted to speak about the trial, whereas in the U.S.
Rimshi.
Yeah?
Rimshi, I'm getting a lot of DMs about.
I turned it up as high as it'll go.
All right, guys,
What's that?
you might have to turn up your own volume. A lot of people are complaining about your
Oh,
volume.
right. Are we
So,
really that quiet?
yeah, apparently. I got a
I've got to
DM.
remember, I've got to speak in hushed tones just in case
I'm
someone
getting
hears my
DMs. I'm getting DMs from Hannah. You guys are really quiet, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So-
Um,
I'll try and turn myself up a bit.
is that any better?
Yeah, just
Well,
no.
we'll have to wait for the chat to let us know. But
yeah.
Well, okay.
it's funny, and V mentioned this on a video earlier today. It's funny how in the UK you got the government tries to prevent everyone else from speaking about the trial, and that's how they try and prevent the everything from being tainted. Meanwhile, in the U.S., they just take everyone who's in the jury, put them in a controlled environment, and prevent them from talking to the outside world. I think that
I mean,
is
that
a
is
lot
much
more
better option.
effective.
That is a
Yeah,
much
it
better
is.
option.
Much better than what we currently got.
I mean, we were looking into this before we got on. Me and Devil were chatting together, and we were looking into other cases and stuff like that. You know, we kind of went a bit off track eventually.
Yeah, you guys,
Um,
it's definitely showing you guys as pretty quiet. I've got you guys as loud as I can get you.
That's really weird because I'm not talking any quieter than normal.
You aren't, but it's easier through stream. Like things get a little muffled. I talk a lot louder when I'm on
Right.
stream than I normally do.
Well, in that case, I'm going to turn you all down then.
All right.
Okay, well, how about you just speak up? Because maybe I'm just used to talking to you, and you're just.
I am
you're just a quiet
speaking
person.
up. Like, I am, but I'm not. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I don't know if you can hear me now, but if it's any better, then.
Well, you're
fine.
hovering at about around negative 20 decibels, roughly negative 17. So that's closer. Hopefully they can hear you.
How about me?
Well, if I go any
Am I-
louder than this, my
am I right?
headset's going to start picking up my own.
Yeah, you're hitting up in that same area.
Ah, okay. No, I'm not sure if I agree
You know-
with Dapper about Tommy knowing about this. It's I don't think he's done enough to put himself in that much danger of going to prison.
Well, I mean that's a fair point. That is a fair point. He's had multiple credible threats against him in the past, and he's spoken openly about how he was.
You gotta speak up a little more, Dapper.
I'm gonna fucking cut a bitch.
What's that, Dapper? I didn't hear you. Speak up.
I said I'm gonna
Speak up,
fucking
boy.
cut a bitch.
Okay.
How? You can't get a knife in the UK.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have no fucking.
Yeah, those are illegal. You got a license for that knife?
I'll just use a fucking spoon.
Do you have a license for that joke?
Give a lesson for that terrible fucking beard that you got.
Who are you gonna get that spoon from? Who are you gonna get that spoon from? Sticks?
No, from my local heroin dealer.
You got
Jesus.
you got some secret spoon dealers. Are you gonna?
I got to pay a special import tax to get spoons in the country now. Don't tell anyone, but my sugar is running low.
I'll cut you. I'll swear on my mum. I'll cut you.
No, I mean we were looking at the rise in extremist gangs.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that was what the whole case was about. That he was filming outside the courthouse of. Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah,
was
there was-
about
it
the
wasn't extreme.
connected to the Rotherham cases, but we
was a
then
big-
started talking about what's it? Why are these people getting let off in these cases? And I came to an interesting thought. Because of the explosion in these radicalized gangs in prison, I've got a feeling the judges know about this and they're trying to limit the amount of cannon fodder that they're sending in. But they're doing it completely wrong.
Well, isn't it don't you have a very, very high population of Muslims that are in prison or jail?
Well,
No,
actually,
actually,
15% of our jail population are Muslim, while of the actual population of the UK, it's only 4.8%. So it is quite high
yeah.
compared to other populations. So
I mean,
Oh,
you
that's
need
like-
to
oh.
remember that there are in-prison conversions. Would probably bring that number relatively comparable.
Yeah, in prison conversions are a whole fucked up thing. We have an issue in America. A lot of prisoners claim to be Christian because it's seen as a moral value to be Christian. So they have a higher likelihood of gaining parole.
Yeah, and I can imagine that, the followers of the Nation of Islam. I'm not too like knowledgeable about American prison system, surprisingly. But
To be fair,
yeah.
nor are we. Well, nor am I.
Well, I think I know a few
Don't
people.
say that. Now you're definitely gonna get him arrested. Jeez.
No, there is obviously, and I think that the threats against it are perfectly
Dappy,
credible.
you're dropping out, mate.
Fuck's sake!
All the issues.
The one time I turn up and it's like I can't sit in my office, I have to be on my phone. My headset's cocking up. Oh, the joys of doing shit like.
Well,
Probably-
gotta hide from your
you're probably
mom,
putting
so.
out illegal opinions.
Yeah.
Government censoring you.
I mean, that's another thing. Just to go for public opinion of Tommy Robinson. I said his name once whilst talking in voice chat because someone forgot his name, and my mum started worrying, thinking that I'd gotten involved in some kind of right-wing cult. And that was, if you're wondering, that was
Just because you said his name.
yes, just because I said his name. And if you're wondering, that was on the Saints Discord. That was the same
Yes.
day that I was sending interracial happy couples to alt-right raiders.
Oh yeah, that was a fun night.
That was a fun night. Though.
That
Yeah.
was a fun night.
Wasn't that also the night that we went into their Discord? It was just a bunch of us that
I
raided them.
wasn't with
Well,
you for that.
not a raid. They sent us an invite to their Discord, and we joined in a large group.
That's right. You went in there for like 14 hours and 88 minutes.
Shit, that's a long time.
You couldn't get the pun up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, but like, is Tony Robinson that much of a pariah in your country?
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Yeah, he really is.
Actually, amongst the mainstream media, but from what I've heard, he'll walk down the street. Of course, this is from what Sargon says when he's been with Tommy. He's seen like people they see Tommy, they look around first to check no one's watching. They go over and they shake his hand. It's seen as negative to like him, but a lot of people actually do. It's just the mainstream media. Mainstream media's made him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard Tommy Robinson talk about that. I haven't necessarily heard Sargon talk about that.
Public opinion is obviously bad enough for people to want to look around. You know, you won't get arrested in the street for shaking the guy's hand. You might get an angry Twitter mob ass for it.
I don't know a ton about Tommy Robinson, sorry. But I don't know a lot about him. All I know is that he's pretty anti-Islam, and he's talking out about refugees entering the country, especially Islamic refugees.
Yeah. So
a lot of the dislike for him comes from people saying he's a racist, and that comes from the EDL, English Defence League, which is seen as a racist organisation, which it is. But I believe he formed the organisation originally.
He did start I know he started the organization, but I think he left it.
But yeah, he hated what it was becoming, so he left.
Well, that's from his own words, and you know he said it so exactly in the same way every time he said it. I have no reason to dispute that. That seems to be a consistent story that he's told to everyone he's talked to, including the mainstream media.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah.
On Tommy Robinson, on his case, he's been charged with contempt of court.
Okay, who's got the ice cream truck in the background?
That's me. Can you hear it? Yeah, it's playing Rudolph. It's playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's the weirdest fucking ice cream truck.
It is fucking renowned.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, for God's sake.
Christmas music. I don't understand.
Why the fuck are they playing Christmas music in the middle of May? What the fuck is going on?
Mexican.
I mean, I was kind of expecting La Cucharaga at that point.
Yeah, no, I live in a very highly Hispanic neighborhood. There's a few ice cream trucks that roll around. Another point, Santa Claus is coming to town. All right, I'm gonna mute myself for a minute.
You do that, man.
But no, he was arrested on contempt of court. Now, some people were saying, "Oh, he's going to prison because he was charged with contempt of court, because he said something during his trial." That's not what it was.
Oh, poor Jeff.
Oh,
Apparently he's sunburnt and dying at the moment.
Oh, I thought you said something else. I thought you said his son is burnt and dying. I was like, oh my fucking god.
Dude.
No,
No, I misheard
way
you.
to put
I
that
misheard
into
you.
perspective. Holy shit.
I completely misheard you. I'm 100% sure that Winter is doing absolutely.
Dear Lord.
I'd like to put that out there.
Jesus
I
Christ.
have terrible hearing. Remember, I was a sound engineer for 3 years.
Dear Lord.
You have terrible hearing and you have terrible speaking.
I have a terrible mind. I just go to really dark places.
That's
Talking of
heavy
which,
shit, dude.
so the thought that went through my mind when I first heard about this was they have put him in there for 13 months. They've charged him with 13, and he is going into a prison system that hates his guts and wants him, right? The problem is that in response to this, with the growing, obviously, extremist elements within prisons, there have been a number of gangs popping up to defend people that aren't Muslim or aren't kafir.
Wasn't there an issue recently where somebody that spoke out against Islam was assassinated in one of the prisons? Yeah.
I was reading that. This is a Somali guy.
These are things I've just heard about, like glancing through this subject as it's popping up.
The British prison system is actually very dangerous for people who have spoken out about Islam. There was that man who put bacon on a mosque door.
That happened in my own home city.
I want to do that.
He was
He
shanked.
died. No, he wasn't shanked. He took an overdose of methadone in a prison.
Oh,
In a prison. Which means that he somehow got it in there. Something tells me, because I mean, these gangs have been. Well, I mean, it says in the Sargon video about. He talks there being a drug culture, selling drugs to prisoners.
That happens in the U.S. too.
Yeah, no, I mean specifically to this case.
I got another month until I can tell you how I know that, but
He was actually trying to commit suicide.
Honestly, it makes me so fucking sad. This shit's happened. One dying in prison.
Yeah, there are quite a few Islamic.
There's a reason why they're. but still, they shouldn't be just assassinated for what they do or don't.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully,
a fucked up situation.
hopefully
Absolutely.
Tommy is going to be put into what's it called? Dapper.
Solitary confinement.
Solitary confinement. Yes.
Yeah,
For his
either
own
way, he's going
protection.
to be doing porridge in a fucking in a maximum security case that he's in solitary, which is a bit excessive, contempt of court.
Yeah, I had heard some people were implying that he was in some sort of protective custody. I saw that on Twitter earlier today.
I haven't, obviously, you don't know any more than you. It's
Yeah.
I believe Lord Pearson actually sent a letter to the current Home Secretary saying essentially that if anything happens to Tommy while in care of the prison system, either he's killed or harmed in any way, that he will be sued for not doing his job, essentially.
well, I mean, if you look at, I mean, the issue in prison is a lot deeper than, oh, there's a bunch of people who don't like anyone that's not a certain. You've mentioned.
No, you're dropping out again, Dapper.
If I mention it again, I might actually get a knock on the door.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, the problem is, over the last 10 years, there has been a 39% increase on violent attacks on staff, and up to 50% decrease in prison staff. So you've got 6 members of staff looking after 160 prisoners in the prison mosque, wherever it may be, or you know, and it's a lot more dangerous for the people who are working in this, which means they're a lot less likely to get involved and break up, or to target certain criminal elements working. At the end of the day, that's the issue that we're facing. When it comes to Tommy Robinson specifically, he's going to have the protection of the people that are defending non-Muslims in prison. But that also means now that we've got a gang culture in British prisons unrivaled in history. We've always had gangs, like the Cray Twins, and they had gangs, but there was a organized crime element. This is much more
mafia than gang.
Yeah, more mafia than ideological struggle, and it's breeding hatred on both.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
It seems that in the prisons, the gangs have more control than the actual prison staff, which is incredibly dangerous.
Oh, that's that happens a lot.
Well, it didn't always used to be like that. It's the decrease in staff. Our prisons are filled to maximum. Our prisons are so old as well. They're not up to spec. They're not modern. It's incredible how poor our prison system is.
I've had multiple who have worked guards. That's where guard.
Sorry, Dabs, before dropping out, mate.
I've had multiple friends who have worked as transport guards who have been attacked at work. I say multiple friends. I had one friend who was a beat copper who transferred in, and one friend who had worked with us, and then got promoted to desk jockey. They had both told me about times they have violently attacked work using implements that came from outside.
Did you say been violently attacked or violently attacked work? Because you cut out there just long enough that there's the potential for that misunderstanding.
No, they didn't go postal, they got attacked.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of these people, they're getting weapons outside of things. They're all sorts of luxuries sent. There's different things. It's different to having a commissary as it is to having people send you a Snickers bar. But whatever it is, stuff is slipping through the gap. They are actually having. There was a case in my city not too long ago. Funnily enough, people were using drones to drop baggies of heroin and weed inside the
that.
prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens in America too.
Yeah.
I know somebody that works at a prison, and they were telling me a story about how there was this small group of people. They were driving back the prison, and they were tossing bags full of steak, tobacco, heroin, and weed.
That's a potent fucking smoke.
Huh?
That's a potent cigarette.
Well, no, they were tossing bags just full of this shit. So they were just tossing them over the fence like late at night.
The problem with the prison that I was talking about is that there's a 20-foot high brick. There's an alleyway, and then there's a primary.
A primary school, did you say?
There's a primary school, an elementary school, and these guys, these guys were going up to the wall in the alleyway, throwing the bag of heroin up and bouncing off the wall and landing in the playground.
Oh,
Jesus!
There were kids
Have fun,
playing with
kids!
bags of heroin.
Now we understand why British teeth are always so bad.
Well, I remember playing with bags of heroin when I was in grade 5. That's a totally normal thing.
Yeah,
You gotta learn how to handle it, right?
Yeah.
I used to have them in sandbags for my... If you remember Action Man, then you're the right person for me. Get on me, slide into my DM.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Man.
Yeah, Tommy went against the judges.
The wishes of the crown. He went against the wishes of
the wishes of the crown. Yes.
Well, what is stated as the wishes of the crown, at least.
True.
And he's been arrested for it. Hopefully, he comes out all right. They might appeal the time he's been given. 13 months seems quite a lot of time. Now, what I've been told, I can't confirm this just yet, that the judge who passed sentence onto him has also been known to let off Muslims that have committed crimes. Yeah, being very weak on them.
Well, I mean, if they've been let off, then there may not have been...
May not have been sufficient evidence.
I would just like to play the devil's advocate. Unfortunately, I'm not advocating for devil.
Yeah, that's too bad.
There are a multitude of other factors that we need before we jump.
Yeah.
And why?
God, you're cutting out so bad right now.
Fucking hell! Jesus.
Are you on your phone? Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my fucking phone. Do you think I could be upstairs talking like this? I would be slapped around the back of the head so fucking hard I'd meet you next Sunday.
Jesus.
That just goes to show how dragged through the mud Tommy's name is in the UK, I suppose.
Well, I mean...
Or how far left your mom is, one of the two. Yeah, why not both?
I think his name is just dragged through the mud. Like I said, I don't follow Tommy Robinson, but all I've heard from him is like Islam is infiltrating the country. We need to be more wary about this. There are things taught in the Quran that are like this. There are lots of Muslims that believe such and such things.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
that's pretty much all I've heard from Tommy Robinson. Like I said,
this is an issue when it comes to religious institutions teaching. Eventually, it's going to come down to education. And we have Islam schools. Okay, we also have Jewish.
Dappy, you're dropping out a lot. Maybe I should just take over for you.
Yeah,
just for a second.
do you want to just take this one whilst I disconnect and reconnect?
Yeah, sounds good. Basically, we have a lot of religious schools. We have Islamic schools, Catholic schools, Jewish schools. Now, me and Deborah were talking about this earlier ago, and we believe they should be essentially banned because they're seen as public schools. You know, they're endorsed by the government and such and receive funding, but they shouldn't be. Personally, we believe they should.
Wait. Hold on. Your government is actually funding these schools.
Yeah, they're not considered private schools because they're public schools, but run by a private school, by a private group, but paid for by the government.
For example, and I'm not going to get into box the shit out of myself. But
Well, I don't
Catholic
think
school
you're gonna have issues with doxing yourself.
Dapper's real name is.
Don't you fucking dare! And now you got everyone sitting on the edge of their seats.
You just say you
Dapper,
milk me.
Dapper, you're dropping out so much. I don't even think it's possible for you to dox yourself right now.
It just is his full name and address, and it just doesn't get through.
Well, what I was going to say is there's a Catholic school near me that it gets government funding, even though that it's funded by the Vatican. It's still,
all these schools are considered are basically public schools, like our regular schools. Now, if these schools were private institutions, privately funded, and had no connection to the government, it'd be fine, because it'd be like essentially companies. Private school, but they're not. They're considered public schools, but they have to follow the same rules. So these schools, like the Islamic schools, can teach kids that stuff like saltwater and freshwater don't mix. Now, it's insanity. They teach these things in schools, and
I don't even know where that comes from. Where the fuck does that come from?
They say it comes from the Quran. It's holy. I don't know why. Anyway.
Yeah, we should get back on topic. End of the line. Tommy Robinson has been put in prison. Simple.
Yeah.
He's been put in prison for a crime called breaching the peace. Now, I could do that quite easily with a saucepan and a wooden spoon and walking down my street. Breaching the peace is such a nebulous claim. It's the same as disorderly. Is that what it put it in the US?
Probably disorderly conduct.
Yeah, disorderly conduct is actually pretty specific.
Then I would say it's not that then, because for us, anyone could be, anyone could be arrested for breaching the peace.
That 5-year-old down the street could be arrested for breaching the peace.
You could be. They could arrest you for speaking too loud. Breaching the peace is.
I would be fucked.
There's actually government legislation on how late you can do DIY. It's 9 o'clock, by the way, if you're wondering.
That's just absurd. That is
just building shit.
Yeah, yourself.
We do in the US. We do have sound ordinances. It depends on the neighborhood you're in or where you're at.
But that's not specific to DIY. That's like, you can't be too loud after a certain amount of time, and it really comes down to how anal your neighbors are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, we've just got a shitload of really useless fucking laws and nebulous as fuck laws. I mean, if you look at, I mean, the prime example of that is the whole Dankula thing that happened, and it's still happening.
Yeah.
It's an £800 fine for telling a joke, but now it's precedent. I don't know why everyone relaxed now that it's only getting a fine. Like, it's fucking good, guys.
No, yeah, not only is it precedent, but now isn't there a new law that's being passed that the severity of your punishment for any sort of hate speech laws is going to be determined by your follower base, essentially? Like how many,
I have no idea
what influential you are, like how many followers you have on Twitter, how many YouTube subscribers you have, that sort of thing.
I can get away with saying anything I fucking want. If none of you bastards follow me, it's good. Not that you should, because my Twitter account is dead as fuck. I'm not even blocked by Steve Shiver yet.
Oh shit.
I've been blocked since the beginning.
Well,
Ryan.
quick note. We have
yeah.
Mundane Matt in the chat.
Oh,
Hey,
Monday Matt. Hey.
I love how that
How's it
runs.
going? Friend of the show, Monday Matt is in the chat.
Catches every
Not-
single one, despite what he says.
Hey guys, my first time. yeah. Monday Matt watches all the time. I'll give you a wrench never until you watch 3 episodes.
The only exception to that is if you come on next week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Monday Matt, feel free to come on to the show. I would actually like to discuss some things with you. I'll DM you later. Anyways. Oh shit, where were we?
But
I don't think it really matters at this point. We've had
we're just doing at this point.
I do have a question for you too.
Hmm.
Would you rather
Oh god, not this question.
move to the U.S.
I know this fucking
Or-
question.
or fight to revitalize your country?
Well,
That's
if
a
I
good
may go
question.
first, I'm
Yeah.
fighting. I'm staying. I'm not leaving. This is
Alright.
my country. No one's taking it from me.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
What about you, Devin?
Well, I'm a patriot. I am a patriot, regardless of what crazy shit my government's doing and has done. You know, I'd like to at least try and fight.
Fight
It's
to
a
fix
nice
it.
notion. It's a nice notion.
that's a
However,
very-
the moment that it goes from, you know, polite discourse with occasional yelling to guns and bombs, I'm the fuck out of here. Like I, I am a fucking lame cripple. Like, what the fuck do you think I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same reason why I haven't left California yet. My biggest reason, I don't want. I want to be here because the more people like me who leave California, the less people there are to change it back to something that actually makes sense.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, but if everybody like you leaves California, then we can watch it burn. And then kick it off into the ocean.
Yeah, just set up.
You know, you're right. I should move to Nevada for a couple weeks while the military is sent in to deal with the communists, and then I can be one of the frontiersmen that goes back in to reclaim it.
What you could do, what you could
back
do. What you could
in the
do.
far-flung future, Rimshi is talking to his grandchildren.
Back in my day.
What was California like? It was a lawless hellhole. Haven't I shown you the film Straight Outta Compton yet?
It was a hellhole. It was lawless, and then we nuked it and moved back in, and we created this utopia.
That's what you should do. This is what you should do. Dig a ditch around California, put your legs over the side, and push it off.
You don't need to. There's already a ditch
Towards
around
Japan.
California. Put the San Andreas fault line. Just detonate that shit and it'll slide into the ocean on its own.
You know, coincidentally, that runs straight through the blue sections of California. Most of California is actually red. Not even joking.
Well, I would imagine,
Yeah, it's just how the way our representative government works. There's actually a large amount of Democratic voters in Texas, even. But you wouldn't hear about that too much. That has a lot to deal with how our representative government works and the gerrymandering, all that shit.
yeah, I had
that's
a
a
video
long
on that.
conversation. Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be pretty cool talking about communists in our governments. The Labour Party is quite communist over here. It'd be cool to talk about Jeremy Corbyn and his love for Venezuela. Next time, perhaps. But
I mean, if that's the case, we can talk about Theresa May and how she's given her husband's company a bunch of private contracts.
that's fine by me.
how the joys of talking about how corrupt our government is, yet no one fucking talks about it because everyone's too busy talking about the orange Satsuma fucking president from across the country.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's
Yeah, no, you fucking will be. You
honest.
fucking will be when our country descends into civil war because we're too busy talking about Trump's hair over the fucking.
Oh
massive
no!
issue.
I don't care about your country descending into civil war. I worry for your safety. Like you two personally, you guys in Maxwell. But you have options, and
Here's the deal. Right? By we, I mean the three of us that have met in person because we all met up and had a beer together. We've all swapped numbers. We all have each other's numbers. So if one of us gets taken down, you guys will know. And then you can start the GoFundMe for us.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way that I can actually support my own legal defense. I am flat fucking broke. I just spent 250 quid on a fucking laptop.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah,
and you know what? I probably am going to get arrested for shit I've said.
I would be
Okay,
more than
okay.
willing.
Okay.
I would be more than willing to start and put into
I'm gonna say,
a GoFundMe campaign for you guys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I would
say-
participate in that.
I'm gonna say this on stream. Devil King once partook in some physical comedy outside of a very left-wing bookshop that we have.
There was a lot of work of the arms, you know, with one arm
Are
in
you
particular.
sure? Oh, wait, are you guys sure you want to say this live? And
Well, I mean, I didn't say
that's going to
anything.
be said.
We didn't say anything.
I said we took part in physical comedy outside of a very left-wing bookshop. I didn't say anything other than that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
all you
know.
know is that we took part in a Buster Keaton routine. I don't give a shit what they think, but
I'm just reminding you that you're live, and this is going to be recorded forever because we don't delete shit.
Even the bad
No,
ones.
I am fully
Especially
aware.
the bad ones.
We haven't said anything. Nothing. We ain't said anything. Just just some physical comedy outside of a communist bookshop.
You had a cramp in your chest, if I remember, and you had to hold your chest and then like to stretch it out, didn't you? Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I stretched my arm out.
absolute fucking dick.
Yeah. In your hometown. I was so surprised. I thought you were bullshitting with me about that communist bookshop. Then you actually
We
showed
walked
me.
past it, and we walked past it, and he did the one thing that I regret the most out of that trip, and I had did some horrifying things on that trip. Anyway,
I'm going to jail.
I don't want to have those flashbacks again. Please don't bring on the memories.
You brought it up. That was
Bite
you.
the
That
bite
was
the
all
pillow.
you.
Bite the pillow, Dapper. I'm going to dry.
Oh god, not again.
Whoa, guys, getting a little too sexy fun time for YouTube.
Ooh.
Alright? You guys can do that in private, that's fine. You guys can do that in a regular voice chat.
Jake, we're sorry we didn't include you.
Uh,
In
Well,
Germany.
yeah, I really am just jealous that you haven't included me.
We'll include you in Germany, yeah.
Kinky.
We'll make a durable sound.
I'm not sure if I can do that anymore.
Make a Jeeble sandwich.
I'll supply the mayonnaise.
Yeah, I got no. There's somebody listening to this. I have to object for now.
For now. Ooh.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Is your mum there?
No, my mom's
What?
not fucking here.
Oh, you know, I thought you were serious then, man.
No, the best thing I think, the best joke I've ever made on the Discord happened today. Rimshi pulled me down into the talking stick with Devil. I can't even say this in a straight face. Rimshi pulled me down, and we're chatting, and then I leave, and I go back up on the voice text one, and I'm chatting with the guys. I say, look, because of my recent behaviour on the Discord, they're banning me. All I asked was 10 minutes just to say goodbye to you lot before I'm gone.
They believed it too. That was the funniest part.
You should have fucking heard the reaction.
Oh, I wish I had popped up there.
Oh, Gator down there shat himself.
Oh, goddamn. That's fucking hilarious.
And now it's permanent record, so if anyone does that joke again, I did it first. Fuck you all, don't steal my jokes.
Oh.
I'm sure we were talking about Tommy Robertson earlier, guy.
Yeah,
Well,
I-
that
you guys answered a lot of my curiosities. Some of them you haven't. It's whatever. I don't care. The guest portion is the only reason why we have a topic is to just get a conversation going.
have a basis to start off on. If it evolves from there, cool. If it sticks on it and is passionate, cool.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Anybody that has been timid about being a guest, we're always looking for a guest on the Sunday show.
Hell, if all you want to talk is microbiology, well, actually, in that case, we probably won't bring you on. But if you want to talk about the time you measured dicks with Lesay and Dapper, I ain't gonna hold. I ain't gonna.
What about Devil King, who's actually in here and not Leslie?
Yeah.
That was me, Dapper, and Leslie. Yeah.
Yeah, I've moved up with Leslie and obviously Dev's brother, who was with us as well, but shall remain nameless.
Yeah. But that's the thing about we couldn't measure them. We couldn't measure them because our dicks just filled the room. So we could hardly move.
I don't want to
I'm sure that's what happened.
Well,
You know what? I don't want you guys to be
Okay.
You guys can stay.
Here's the deal. We tried to measure our dicks, but the tape measure wasn't long enough. That's the only problem.
Why would you bring a centimeter measuring tape?
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, you bitch. Oh.
So I would have measured it, but unfortunately the Rizzler packet that I had wasn't quite like it.
Oh, jeez.
Bar.
I'm looking at
Those
that map
dicks.
that he posted, and so highly populated areas.
Yeah, the highly populated areas tend to be Democrat in California. In fact, in fact, the main reason.
Okay, that's yeah. Okay.
The main reason you see so much blue in that, and for everyone who's not watching, I will post it in the Discord during show. The main reason you see so much blue down towards the south, my guess would be at least, is because it was between Hillary and Trump, and it was such a divisive one that people took a side.
What you should do, that's right. Take some nukes, drill them into the fault line in California, and just detonate them. California just drifts into the sea.
You know, I've been talking about that for a long time, guys.
It's a simple answer to the California question.
It's not as simple as you think, because the fault lines are actually running through the middle of California. However, it would get rid of all that blue.
I mean, it's either that or set up camps.
See, okay, so...
Just give me warning so I can get out of here.
Think about it.
And bring my family.
If we're asking the Californian question, we've got to ask who controls Hollywood.
Yeah, no. Democrats, flat out.
It's
Progressives.
Californians.
It's
Yeah,
Californians,
progressives.
isn't it? See? Californians are the problem. We need to just slide them into the ocean. Like we do with all of our rubbish, like the giant Pacific floating...
Yeah, but New York. Well, okay, yeah, definitely. It's definitely California. Their weather's too nice in California for them to have any other real problems. At least in New York, they'll be edgy.
Well, here's the thing.
New York, they'll be edgy. I'll share a link with you guys for some roast battles. It gets cold there, so people stop giving fucks about your feelings. Alright. So, we're getting up on about that time. Anything that you guys want to show?
Actually, yeah, there was something I was looking at the other day. I can't remember what it's called. Let me just dig that one up. Devil?
Yeah, I'm just looking for something. Just a link.
Well, show anything.
I'm not gonna show my own channel. Don't worry. I've already got 1 million subs anyway, as far as Franman's concerned.
No, you fucking don't. But anyways.
No. Fran's convinced that I'm pyrocynical. I'm not pyrocynical. But you know.
My brother has a channel called Disachi HD, and he does gaming videos here and there. So I'd like to put him out there.
All right, can you send me a link?
Sure. Just need to.
We will make sure our massive audience can see him.
Hey, it's over 100 people. I think that's pretty good. I grew up.
It's a good start.
That's like 1/3 of the town I grew up in. So.
That's not much. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And 17 of them are watching now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure my mom's watching. Hi, Mom.
Oh, I'm sure my mom's not, because I haven't ever given her the link.
My mom just bugged the shit out of me until I gave her a link, and then I forget that she's watching until about the end of it, and I'm like, shit.
What did I say?
I said, Jesus Christ. I use Jesus Christ as a swear word a lot through that. Huh.
Is the link in the messaging server? I've posted the link.
A channel called.
Could you send it directly to me and not in the group chat, and then I'll.
Sure.
Because he's too lazy to do it now.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna fucking do it now. No.
Yeah. So the channel that I was recommend was a channel called Puff and Forest. He does D&D related content, talks about different stories he's got during the games he's played, different games he's played. There you go.
Alright,
cool. And I'll just drop it into. I'm just sliding into them DMs, James. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, slide in my DMs.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh.
I'll follow it up. I'll tell you what. I'll follow it up with a picture of my nuts, which is funny enough the reason why I'm not getting banned from the Discord.
Never. You're supposed to say these nuts.
These nuts.
These
Yeah,
nuts.
if you send me a picture,
Got
I'm
him.
in trouble.
I mean, if you really want them tables, I'll send you a picture of my nuts.
You did decide
No,
to use
I don't.
together at the same time.
I don't.
Congratulations, you saved yourself.
I don't know if you want to fight coffee for that one.
Yeah.
My money would be on coffee.
Hey,
I'm not
little
sure.
did you know that getting punched by a woman is my fetish. So,
Ooh.
indeed.
Alright.
And this is when we get to the fucking chat.
God damn it. She hasn't been interviews me. Fuck.
Dapper just comes his pants.
Fuck you, Dap!
I somehow managed to fill an entire sock.
She starts kicking him, he's just moaning on the ground.
Jesus.
Pleasure.
God.
Just starts calling her mistress.
Any closing statements?
You're a cuck.
No, I was talking. Fuck off, devil. I was asking Rimshi if he had any closing statements. 'Cause I'm about to close out the show.
Well, technically, I'm the one who closes out the show.
Well, you technically, I do the ending monologue. I just monologue the beginning and the end. I bookend it.
Yeah, if you guys find any interesting articles throughout the week, feel free to send them to myself or Jables, probably me, because I will keep better track of them. Also, if anyone wants to be a guest or and has something interesting to talk about that week, don't be afraid of finding us or contacting us and asking us. We literally put this together with Dapper and Devil 3 hours prior to the show. So
No, I don't even think we got that far.
Yeah, that's 2 hours ago.
yeah.
Because me and Devil sat in a voice chat for 2 hours. Research.
Seriously, I can only come up with so many topics. If it's like a huge news week, then I can come up with a good topic for us to bring somebody in on. And this was something that I mentioned to Rinshi a few hours ago because it's kind of been infiltrating the internet over the last couple of days. So I was like, this might be fun to talk about. But if if anybody out there personally has anything that they want to talk about and that they can talk about and they'd like to share with us, feel free to message either Rimshi or myself.
And if you find any fun music, fun royalty-free music that you think would be good for the opening or closing of the show, like what was played before the show today, and I will play it again when we're closing out. Feel free to message that to Jables or me. Again, probably me, because I'll keep better track of it.
Yeah, definitely message Rimshi, because he's the one that actually does the production. I'm just a talent.
Oh, God.
I did your job this week.
You did. I was busy. Fuck.
I'm not complaining.
But if you guys want something again, like if you something going on about Britain, like anything about that, be free.
Oh, Devil,
feel
you're
free to...
never coming on again.
Yeah, the big joke. The big joke Dapper put.
Like...
The big joke Dapper put earlier that it was him getting banned. It was funny and all, but it was just actually Devil.
Alright. So with that, be sure to check out the YouTube Saints after we're done, and in about 23 minutes is when they're going to be going online. Just look up the YouTube Saints channel. I'm sure all of you have subscribed basing on who's in the chat. That happens every week at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any other time zones, figure it out your damn self. We go live every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, figure yourself out if you don't get that. After the YouTube Saints show, there is almost always a post show, which we talked about earlier. It's on Twitch, so you have to be careful with some of your jokes, but overall, you can tell the line, don't jump it, though. I'm talking to you, Devil. And with that, this has been the Lesser Saints of Discord with Jables and Rimshi. Everybody, have a good night.
Drowning deep in my sea of loathing, broken your servant I name, being given to me. It seems what's left of my human side is slowly changing in me. Given to me, looking at my own reflection, when suddenly it changes, violently it changes. Oh no, there is no turning back now. You've woken up the demon in me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. sickness. Open up your hate and let everyone to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Man, this is the gift that has been given to me.